Good morning, everyone. Today we continue the journey of Hoika, a resilient single mother who's slowly finding her footing. Life has gradually settled for her ever since the day Mrs. Bay and her son Ha stepped in to help. Over the past few days, Hoika has regained her strength and resumed her daily routines. Just like every morning, Hoika wakes up, stretches, and heads straight to her son Tony's room. Gently, she wipes his face and prepares him breakfast. Her eyes filled with nothing but love for her little boy. These moments, though simple, mean the world to her. Sitting next to Tony, watching him eat Hoika, can't help but feel a bit uneasy. Although the wound on her head from the scuffle with some thugs has healed, the weight of life's financial worries never quite fades. She reflects on the struggles she once faced, battling through hardships all on her own. But now, with Mrs. Bay and he by her side, she feels a sense of relief she hadn't known before. However, life isn't always smooth sailing. Hoika knows she can't rely on others forever. She needs to stand on her own 2 feet for herself and for Tony. After a moment's thought, she resolves that today is the day she will start earning some extra income. She can't just sit idly by while life passes her. Remembering Ha's suggestion, she decides to join him on a trip into the woods to gather dudajat, a special fruit that can be sold at the local market. It's not a difficult task, but it requires patience and perseverance. Together, they pack their bags and head out. The forest is peaceful, the air fresh and cool. Hoika feels a sense of joy returning to her heart as she and Ha navigate the paths, searching for ripe dudajat. These small fruits, though not large, are valuable. They grow on tall trees, their dark red skin and sweet fragrance making them irresistible. Carefully, they pick each one, mindful of the task at hand. As their bags fill with the fruits, Hoika's eyes light up. She imagines how these dudajat will help her cover the bills and provide a better life for Tony. It's a small but important step toward a brighter future. As soon as Hung received the call from his boss, he didn't have time to think. He hurriedly wrapped up his remaining tasks and rushed to the office. The tension weighed heavily on his mind as he realized this situation could involve his mother. He could never have imagined that one day the stories his mother had shared with him would force him to face such a terrifying reality. Upon arriving at the office, Hung quickly entered his boss's office. His anxiety was palpable, and without hesitation, he asked about his mother's whereabouts. His boss looked at him seriously before admitting that she had indeed been seen near the border, an area known for its high level of danger and the presence of criminal elements. This only made Hung more unsettled. His boss explained that the agency was short on personnel to apprehend key suspects involved in the case, and that Hung was one of the few people who could help. But in that moment, Hung was torn. He couldn't abandon his mother, but he also understood that by joining the case, he might not be able to save her. Lost in thought, Hung's mind raced with conflicting emotions. He didn't want to be a part of this case, didn't want to find himself in a situation where he might have to go up against his own mother. Even though he knew justice needed to be served, his love for her was overwhelming, and he couldn't shake the fear for her safety. Hung decided to seek his boss's advice, wondering if there was a way to back out of the case. To his surprise, his boss, despite being the one in charge, showed understanding and empathy. There was no reprimand, just a quiet reassurance. He looked at Hung with knowing eyes, and said that everyone has their own relationships and responsibilities, and sometimes difficult choices have to be made. He promised to find the best solution for everyone involved. With that comforting response, Hung silently left the office. He couldn't forget the worried look on his own face as he stepped outside. His mind was consumed with thoughts of his mother and the fear of what might happen next. But he also knew this decision was far from easy. All he could do now was wait for the next steps to unfold and hope for a resolution to this agonizing dilemma. After Hoika finished gathering the dudajat fruit, the situation was still unstable, so Ha decided to take the fruits to the market, while Hoika would head home to prepare for the evening. She carefully packed the ripe fruits into her basket and set off for home. Once home, Hoika gently picked up Tony, holding him close and showering him with love. She felt truly happy whenever she was with her son, and the love she had for him became her driving force, helping her overcome every obstacle life threw her way. By the time the market had closed, Hash had returned home. As he walked down the road, he noticed 2 small toy cars lying abandoned in the street. Without a second thought, he picked them up and decided to bring them home, clean them, and prepare them for Tony to play with. A warm feeling filled his heart, knowing that these small acts of kindness could bring so much joy to the little boy. When Hoika saw Ha carefully washing the toy cars, she brought Tony over to show him. As soon as Tony saw the toy crane, his eyes lit up and a bright smile spread across his face. Excited, he grabbed the toy and began playing with it, completely immersed in his own little world. He didn't realize that moments like this, filled with simple gestures of love and care, were the true essence of family. Ha watched the scene unfold, feeling his own heart warm. He knew that these small thoughtful actions, like helping Hoika or taking care of Tony, were slowly building a bond between him and her. And even though they hadn't yet expressed their feelings openly, these small acts were drawing them closer together. Hoika, witnessing the care and affection Hai showed toward her son, felt a sense of warmth and gratitude toward him. Slowly, these simple kind moments were creating a bond, one that brought them closer together. Perhaps in the near future, those feelings would bloom into something more, and they would realize that they were no longer strangers to each other. Just as everything at Hung's house remained quiet, the sound of a motorcycle revving shattered the stillness, filling the air with tension. 2 thugs parked their bikes right in front of the door, their heavy footsteps echoing on the tiled floor. Then, unexpectedly, one of them called out loudly, "Where's Mr. Hung?" The sound of the voice startled Hung. His whole body tensed, and for a moment he felt the cold shiver run down his spine. But he quickly regained his composure. He rushed outside, his heart pounding in his chest. As he stepped out, he saw the 2 men standing there, their eyes filled with menace. Despite the fear rising within him, Hung didn't show panic. He forced himself to stay calm, standing tall as he approached them. The leader of the thugs wasted no time. He stared at Hung coldly, his voice devoid of any sympathy. "Your mother owes me a large sum of money, and you're going to pay for it." Hung froze for a moment. The amount his mother owed was no small sum, and there was no way to pay it off easily. But he couldn't let things escalate, couldn't allow his mother to be in danger. His heart felt like it was being pierced by 1,000 needles, but he looked the man in the eyes and said as calmly as he could, "I understand. But I need 2 more days to gather the money. I promise I'll pay you. The thug wasn't convinced by Hung's promise. Angrily, he snapped, "You think I'm an idiot. A promise isn't enough. I want this house." Hung knew that if he refused, things could take a turn for the worse. Everything around him seemed to collapse in that moment. Hung stood there contemplating. He couldn't let them take his house, but if it meant protecting Huai Ka and Tony, he couldn't stand by and watch them be put in danger. After a long pause, he made his decision. He couldn't just let them take everything, but at the same time he couldn't bear the thought of putting his family in harm's way. He nodded firmly, his voice steady but resolute. "Fine, I'll give you the house, but in 1 month, I will have the money to pay you back." The thug, seeing that Hung wasn't resisting any further, smiled cruelly. "I'll give you a chance, but if you don't have the money in a month, this house is mine for good." With that, he turned and walked away, signaling his partner to follow him. Hung stood there watching them leave, his heart heavy with loss. The house that had once been filled with so many memories, where he had spent difficult days with Huai Ka and Tony, was no longer his. A mix of emotions flooded him, and he felt like a failure. He turned back, walking into the house with a heavy heart. Everything felt different now, as if the peaceful days were gone forever. Hung quietly began packing his things, stuffing them into a small suitcase. Each step seemed heavier than the last. The house which he once called home no longer had a place for him. He didn't know where he would go or what he would do next. But one thing was certain: he couldn't stay there watching his home be taken without doing anything. He had to leave, had to find a way to save his mother and Tony, even if the road ahead seemed uncertain and full of challenges. As he stepped outside, Hung paused and turned to look at the house one last time. Every wall, every corner held memories that he could never erase. But now he had to face the reality that he had to leave it all behind.
Hùng đứng đó, nhìn theo bóng lưng của bọn côn đồ. Trong lòng anh trống rỗng. Căn nhà này, nơi anh từng chứng kiến bao kỷ niệm đẹp, nơi anh đã trải qua bao tháng ngày khó khăn cùng Hoài Ca và Tony, giờ đây đã không còn là của anh. Những cảm xúc lẫn lộn tràn ngập trong lòng. Anh cảm thấy mình như một người thất bại. Anh quay lại, bước vào trong tâm trạng nặng trĩu. Nhưng giờ đây, mọi thứ đã khác, không còn là những ngày tháng yên bình nữa. Hùng lặng lẽ thu xếp đồ đạc của mình, bỏ vào chiếc vali nhỏ. Anh cảm thấy một bước đi của mình như nặng trĩu hơn bao giờ hết. Căn nhà anh từng gọi là mái ấm không còn chỗ cho anh. Anh không biết sẽ đi đâu, sẽ làm gì. Nhưng anh biết mình không thể sống mãi ở đây, không thể ngồi với ngôi nhà bị cướp mà không làm gì. Anh phải đi, phải tìm cách để cứu Hoài Ca và Tony, rồi con đường phía trước mịt mù và đầy thử thách. Khi mình bước ra ngoài, anh bước dép dừng lại, nhìn lại ngôi nhà đến cuối, một bức tường, mỗi góc nhỏ đều mang những ký ức không thể xóa nhòa. Nhưng bây giờ, anh phải đối mặt với thực tế, phải bỏ lại tất cả những gì quen thuộc nhất trong cuộc sống của mình.